Well, welcome to our Ridgeview and Risner Ridge areas market update. I'm Ron Wilstein, a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties Worldwide here in Park City, Utah, and this is our June 2015 market update. And before we turn our attention to Ridgeview and Risner Ridge, I'd like to begin by giving you a quick update as to what's been occurring in the Park City real estate market overall. During the past 12 months, there's been 1,402 sales in Park City. Now this consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land. This is all real estate brokerages combined, and that's actually up 18 sales or 1% over that same period of time the year before. Now this graph here takes a look at the period of time from May 2014 to April 2015, and the red bar here represents that period of time. The gold bar represents that 12-month period the year before, so we can see any change year-over-year comparison. Single-family homes are actually down in terms of the number of sales, dropping from 551 sales to 539. Not a huge drop, but represents a 2% decrease. Condominiums, however, are up 6% from 621 sales all the way up to 660 sales. And then the vacant lots is down slightly by 4%, or in this case 9 sales, dropping from 212 sales all the way to 203 sales for the last 12-month period. Now that's what's been happening in terms of sales. Let's take a look at prices. Everyone's always curious as to what's happening with their property values. This graph here shares with you single-family homes medium sold prices, and we're looking at that same period of time that we were discussing earlier, but we've broken it this time into the Park City city limits as well as the Snyderville Basin, which is kind of the county area of Park City. You can tell that prices have remained steady. In fact, in the city limits, they've actually increased by 2%, with the medium sold price going from $1,300,000 to $1,320,000. Not a huge increase, but if you've been following our monthly reports where we report on this every year, or every month I should say, it keeps going up each month, and so as we get into higher and higher figures, we might still see a steady increase, but percentage-wise it will be smaller. When we shift over to the Snyderville Basin, we see an 11% increase, with the medium sold price rising from $720,000 all the way to just under $800,000, $797,000. Nice 11% appreciation rate year over year. This graph shows you condominiums, and both within the Park City limits and the Snyderville Basin, nice double-digit increase. Condos in the Park City area rose 13% from $478,000 all the way up to $540,000, very positive there. And in the Snyderville Basin, where the medium sold price the previous year was $335,000, it's now $375,000. So good news there in terms of our property values in Park City. Vacant land's a little different story. They're actually down by 20% in the city limits, falling from $689,000 to $550,000. But I do want you to keep in mind that there's not that many lot sales that are occurring within the city limits. And so this number can be a bit misleading in that the medium sold price might be in a different geographical area or subdivision, and that alone may account for the increase or the decrease as we see it here. So I wouldn't want you to give it too much value, but it is accurately a 20% drop medium sold price compared to medium sold price year over year. In the Snyderville Basin, we see it down 6%, with the medium sold price dropping from $307,500 to $290,000 even. Now this graph here, this is a pretty interesting one. This is tracking cash transactions going back to 2007 when the market started to take off. And you'll notice that 26% of all sales 2007 were all cash, the rest were financing. So basically 1 out of every 4 transactions were done with all cash. Then it rose in 2008 to 35%, then to 45%, and in 2010, 50%. 1 out of every 2 transactions was all cash, and it basically held that for about the last 5 years, being anywhere from 47% to 50% of each deal being an all cash transaction. The thing I want to stress here is that as we enter into 2015, the first quarter figures are now in, and 56% of all transactions are all cash. So that's the highest figure we have seen ever in the history of Park City. So what does it mean? It means a lot of people have a lot of cash in their pockets and they're pulling it out to buy Park City real estate. Now let's turn our attention to Ridgeview and Risner Ridge areas in terms of subdivisions and what's been happening in their neighborhoods. They're two separate subdivisions, but they're adjacent to each other, and we decided to combine these into one webinar. And so we're going to look at data of Ridgeview and Risner combined, and then we'll also break it out into separate subdivisions so that you get the full picture here. Home sales in Ridgeview and Risner Ridge are up 300% over last year's sales figures. That's very positive. Here's what's making up that 300% increase, and that is the previous year there were a total of 3 sales. The past 12-month period, a total of 12 sales. So the activity surged big time, increasing by 300%, and definitely making Ridgeview and Risner Ridge a much stronger, healthier marketplace. Here in this graph, I've broken it up, and so this first column here is Ridgeview, where we saw a 600% increase because we went from a single sale the year before in Ridgeview all the way up to 7 transactions. So that monster increase. Market change, prices change, and everybody decided Ridgeview was the place to go. So number of sales jumped from 1 all the way up to 7. Huge, huge. Risner Ridge, right next door, climbed 150% from 2 sales to 5 sales. Again, substantial increase, showing the favor and strength of those 2 market neighborhoods for single-family homes. The Ridgeview and Risner Ridge area homes are selling at a pace of 1 sale every 30 days. Now we talk about this under the heading of absorption rate. And what absorption rate is, that is the rate in which the current inventory of properties for sale is likely to take to sell. And the absorption rate is calculated looking back 12 months, and in essence looking at how many sales occurred over the last 12-month period to get the pace of sales. What we saw is we saw 12 transactions over 12 months. In other words, 1 sale every 30 days. That's the speed. So that if you take a look at the current inventory of properties on the market and if no new properties come on the market, then that should give you an idea of how much inventory we have, how long it should take for the market to absorb it. Well, currently there's only 2 homes on the market in Ridgeview and Risner Ridge, which equates to a 2-month inventory, and actually one's in Ridgeview and one's in Risner Ridge, so maybe it can be argued it's a 1-month inventory. Anyway, it's a very small inventory of properties for sale compared to the National Association of Realtors that looks at major cities in the country, not smaller places like Park City, but major cities. And a balanced market for the National Association of Realtors is about a 6-month inventory. So when you see a 2-month inventory or even 1-month inventory, that's very, very small. Typically in resort towns like Park City, a balanced marketplace is about a 9-month inventory. So the current rate of sales based upon the last 12 months definitely favors property owners and sellers over buyers. Here's the price ranges. They've ranged anywhere from $755,000 all the way up to $1,875,000, bringing the median sold price to $1,335,000. Now that's actually down by 25% from the previous year, where the median sold price was $1,780,000. So drop 25%, does that represent a drop in the overall appreciation or depreciation for the area? I don't think so. But it does represent that the median sold price, because there was a greater inventory, that actually brought it down a little bit. Here I've broken it down by the specific subdivisions, Ridgeview and Risner Ridge. So what happened in Ridgeview is the highest sale was $1,780,000 in terms of median sold price. This past year down 34% at $1,180,000. Again, more sales. We went from 1 sale to 7 sales, but overall the median dropped as a result of that. It's understandable based upon the sample changing. In Risner Ridge, where we saw the change go from 1 sale to 5 sales, that 1 sale was at $1,727,500. Take the 5 sales, take the medium one, the third sale of the 5. Price was $1,450,000, so therefore mathematically down by 16%. Again, don't want you to put a lot into this. If you're interested in knowing the value of your property relative to the current inventory, ask that question. We're happy to get you that information once we inspect your property and can properly give you an informed answer. Lot sales in Ridgeview and Risner Ridge have not changed over the last year. There was 1 lot sale in Ridgeview and Risner areas combined over the past year. That means that the pace of sale is 1 every 365 days, 1 sale a year. Not too fast, not that many choices. Right now there's no lots on the market in Ridgeview or Risner Ridge, so if one came on, it'd be impossible to know exactly how long it would take to sell, other than looking back at this figure and saying, well, it might not be right away. Selling prices for Ridgeview and Risner Ridge, again, very limited as to what we had to look at. Price of $700,000 being the one sold price. That's actually up significantly over the year before by 87%. But we're talking about one transaction, so again, you can't make a lot out of that. Now, if you're interested in receiving the actual details on the homes or the lots that make up this information that I've kind of presented to you here as an overview, whether it's for Ridgeview or whether it's for Risner Ridge areas, let me know. Just shoot me an email to ron@thewilsteinteam.com. Simply say, send me solds for Ridgeview or send me solds for Risner Ridge, or if you have some other requests, just make that known, and I'll be sure to get that information off to you. And our goal here at the Wilstein team is to get you good, relevant information when you're interested in it. And it's not to bug you, so we're not going to follow up with a phone call unless you specifically say, Ron, give me a call. Otherwise, we're here to help, but we expect that you'll contact us when you want to hear from us. I do want to show you how you can get information on Ridgeview or Risner Ridge market anytime you want. We typically do these webinars approximately every 6 months, but you don't have to wait for the next update, and you may have more specific questions. So I'll show you how to do this. Go to your computer, simply bookmark our main website, BuyParkCityRealEstate.com, and then /Ridgeview, or if you're interested in Risner Ridge, do Risner Ridge. Should all be lowercase, either whether Ridgeview or Risner Ridge. And if you do that, it will, well, let me show you exactly what it will do. Here I am. Here's our website, BuyParkCityRealEstate.com. This is the home page. If you simply go up there and you add in /Ridgeview as an example, and then you hit enter, that's going to take you to this page. This is a page devoted to Ridgeview home listings, and it will go through changes as the market changes. Again, there's limited supply. But if you went to this page, a couple of things to point out to you. You've got this button which changed from green to kind of a tan color. Watch a webinar for an update on Risner Ridge and Ridgeview. In essence, you're watching that webinar right now. But if you're interested in knowing about current sales data in either Risner Ridge or Ridgeview, you click this button, and that would take you to this page, current sales data, and you simply take about 30 seconds to scroll down a little bit, fill in the gap, either put in your address here and the type of home, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and there are lots of pull down menus here, so it goes really fast. And then put your name, your first name, your last name, and your email address, because this is how we're going to contact you. If you want to receive our quarterly newsletter, include your mailing address, and we'll send that to you. If you want us to call, leave your phone number as well. And then in the comment box down here, type in whatever comment you want, or question you want, or information you want, and hit the green submit form button. That will come to myself, and I in turn will get you the information that you're after. So again, you don't have to wait until the next Market Talk webinar or Ridgeview or Risner Ridge market update is. Just fill out that form, we'll get you that information. So with that in mind, let me just wrap up by reminding you about a couple things. Obviously, the ski resorts are closed now that the snow has melted and that season's over, but they are reopening or have already reopened for the summer. Park City Mountain Resort reopened on May 22nd, Canyons May 29th, and Deer Valley is scheduled for June 19th. Now, keep in mind, the resorts have zip lines, they've got alpine slides, they all have mountain biking, they've got lots of activities, some have horseback riding, lots of fun stuff to do. And so if you haven't yet enjoyed Park City during the summer months, be sure to take it in. Mountain biking at the resorts is the best. Great views, great terrain, nice trails. Some are narrower, some are wider, some are more difficult. And you don't have to ride uphill if you don't want to. I mean, you always have some uphill and downhill, but you don't have to start at the bottom. You can actually take the chairlift and ride it up there, and your bike will be attached to a chair, and you can just ride down. Believe me, it's strenuous enough between the bumps and the turns. But if you want to ride up, great. If you don't want to, then that's how you do it. And for those of you who are diehards, you want to make your way over to the Canyons Mountain Bike Terrain Park, where it's crazy. They got bumps and turns and ramps and bridges, and every time I look at this picture in the lower right-hand corner, this bridge you're on, it always goes through my head. If I had to stop, I got nowhere to put my feet down. So you want to be a proficient enough bike rider to not plan on stopping, and then you get to fly off the edge. And it's a gas if that's what you're into. I'm not, but it's a lot of fun. So tune up your bikes and also get out your water sports toys. Head over to the Jordanelle. It's only 8 minutes away from Park City. You can wakeboard, personal watercraft. There's so much to do in Park City during the summer that you want to take it in and enjoy it. Also want to mention to you that Deer Valley did complete their purchase of the Solitude Mountain Resort. It is now official. Deer Valley successfully closed on the purchase of Solitude on April 30th, and they have assigned Kim Mayhew, who has been with Deer Valley Resort for over 30 years, to be their operational manager, their general manager at Solitude. I'm sure she will do an excellent job. And they've got a lot of initial capital improvements they're going to do at Solitude, starting with removing the Summit double chairlift and installing a new detachable high-speed quad lift. That's for this upcoming ski season for 2015 and 16. You know Deer Valley, they want you up on the mountain, they want it to be a comfortable experience, and they're making those changes at Solitude. They're also, they cut a new ski run from the top of the existing Apex Express chair to the bottom terminal of the newly realigned Summit Express chairlift. Again, they moved that a little bit just to deal with crowds a little bit better. You know Deer Valley, they don't want bottlenecks. They want it to be as good of a mountain experience as it possibly can be. So they're making some of those enhancements at Solitude. Deer Valley also intends to remodel the Moonbeam Lodge restaurant and increase their guest services presence throughout the resort so they can be there to assist people in any way that they need to. All new uniforms. Don't expect them to be Deer Valley green, but I'm sure they'll look pretty snappy. And it seems like no webinar will be complete without us telling you what Vail Resorts is up to lately. Of course, last year was a big deal. They solved the multi-year legal battle between the Park City Mountain Resort and Talisker by purchasing the Park City Mountain Resort. And if that wasn't a big enough deal, they went and did it again. They bought another resort. This time they went outside the United States to Perisher, which is in Australia, and they bought that resort. This is their first international mountain resort purchase. Perisher is, as I mentioned, in Australia. They purchased it for $136 million. And just to give you a context, the Park City Mountain Resort was purchased for $182.5 million. So it's a lot of money. They're spending a lot of money on ski resorts and mountains. This is expected to close later this year. We will, of course, make you aware of that once it has closed. But now you can ski and ride at a couple more places around the world. In fact, since their season is the opposite of the season time-wise in the U.S., you can basically ski or ride year-round. In fact, it means that the Vail's Epic Pass, which is good at the Park City Mountain Resort, it's good at Canyons, it's good at Vail's Colorado Resort, it's good at Vail's California Resort, it's good at all of Vail's resorts, is now good at Perisher in Australia. So imagine this. you have unlimited skiing year-round with Vail's Epic Pass. It's insane. You got to get there with an airplane, but you can ski for free. So they're really making, they're really getting a lot of miles out of that pass. That's all I can say. Well, let me wrap up and just say, if you are curious or want to learn how much your Ridgeview or Risner Ridge area home or lot is worth in today's market, it's really easy. Go to our website, BuyParkCity.com, scroll down to the section, learn what your property is worth, and fill in the form there. It's just that easy. And again, I'll give you a quick example. Here we are back at the Park City, View Park City Real Estate. This is the home page, and you can search for properties right there. You can watch some webinars or look at some of our listings. Just go a little further down to learn what your property is worth in today's market. You've got a form here. It's very similar to the one I highlighted earlier, slight change, but put in your address, put in your contact information, and it'll take you 30 seconds to fill out. Here's some other options as to things we offer you that may be of interest. Check the appropriate box and hit the submit form. I'll get the request. I will then contact you and arrange a time to get into your property to meet you and to let you know what its current value is in today's market. And you don't need to be planning to sell. If you are, that's fine, and we're happy to assist you if we can be of assistance to you. But if you're just curious, that's fine. We'll let you know what it's worth. That's what most property owners want to know. What is their property worth, whether they're planning to sell it or not. So if you have any questions, email me, ron@thewellsteinteam.com. My colleague Doug isn't on this webinar, but he also assists me in working with property owners thinking about selling their properties. Include your phone number. Let us know if you want us to reach out and give you a call. And finally, let me just remind you, every single month we record our Park City Market Talk webinar. It's very similar to what we did here, but here we focused in on Ridgeview and Risner Ridge, gave you a brief overview of the Park City market. In the Market Talk webinar, we go into a bit more detail on the Park City market overview, and then we talk about relevant topics on everybody's mind based upon what's happening in Park City. Sometimes we address appealing your property taxes if it's the season to do that. Sometimes we're updating you on the resorts updates at the resorts. Whatever is relevant, that's what we talk about there. So it's a quick way to be kept informed about Park City, whether you live here or not, real easily without having to talk to anybody. With that in mind, it's Ron Wilstein from Park City, Utah, wishing you a happy summer. Come out and enjoy all the fun things to do in Park City. Bye-bye.